Hi, my name is Abigail Drika, and today I'm going to give my presentation on Robert Merton. Robert Merton was born July 4th, 1910. He was born into a pretty rough childhood environment, and he was associated with street gangs, and he would attend social gatherings such as parties. He was actually born with the name Meyer Schlucknick. I probably really butchered that. But he would go around his neighborhood performing magic tricks, so he would use the stage name of Robert Merlin. He was later convinced to change his name to Robert Merton, and that is who we know him as today. Robert Merton did really well in school, and he had a passion for learning at an early age. Actually, before he graduated graduate school, he had already began to publish works, so that was pretty impressive. He was greatly influenced by previous sociologists, and one of his main influences was Talcott Parsons, but he also demonstrated works of Durkheim in his writing. Parsons contributed a lot to sociology, but Merton furthered Parsons' work, and it was actually said that Merton was one of Parsons' most important students, so that was an accomplishment for Merton to be so important to Parsons. One of the main concepts Merton is known for is the science of sociology, and he was the first sociologist to be awarded the National Medal of Science in 1994, so that was a really big deal for Merton because he was the first sociologist to accomplish this title. And his ethos of science really challenged the scientists at the time. John Dowby, author of The Sociology of Science, discusses how Merton believed that science is a distinctive social activity. So people experience activities, and because of these activities, they gain different knowledge, but the knowledge is based on their activity and their experience. So Merton was a really prolific researcher, and he studied different subjects, a very wide range from deviance to drug abuse to relationship and family formation, and also the history of science. So he really did study a lot, but he's really known for the establishment of the connections between theory and research, and it is actually argued that this is one of his most important achievements. Merton was a structural functionalist, so he believed that society was a connection of interrelated parts, but he didn't believe that the components were always in sync. So people cannot predict the results of society because they change based on the society and the culture. Merton is well known for his idea of the manifest function and the latent function. And again, he concluded that society is based on interrelated parts, and there are many functions to society. So everything works together in a sense that it produces outcomes, but the outcomes don't always go together, if that makes sense. So functionalism was that society is an integration of social structures, but there are always consequences to follow. However, the consequences are not predictable. So Merton did a lot of work on the theory of deviance, and he states that there are variances in deviance, but this is all based on the social structural location. So based on like the society that you're part of or the culture, the deviance changes because people act in different ways. So when people experience deviance, they then experience a sense of dysfunction, but the dysfunction varies between societies and cultures and people groups, and the dysfunction leads to the social status. So the article Functionalist Perspective on Deviance says that the theory of deviance yields positive results. So Parsons is known for studying the negative results, but Merton studied the positive results, and he believed that these results would lead people to the right and wrongs of society so that they can actually learn from their mistakes. And the article also talks about how deviance is explained with society as a whole, and it doesn't focus on like the individuals and single people, but it's like a collective action. Anomie is actually a result of existing social disorder, and because of this, dysfunction becomes an issue. So when people experience deviance, they also experience a sense of dysfunction. And lastly, Merton was greatly known for his role theory, and this talks about how social structures and social roles are organized in a very complex way. The status of roles are not fixed, and it changes with the particular role set that is involved. So every culture has a different role set, and because of this, they have a different social status. So the author of Merton's Ambivalence Toward Autonomous Theory relates Merton in that he explains how social roles govern social behavior. So the behavior is based on the roles, and because of this behavior, people gain unique knowledge and experience. So everyone is like unique and individual in the sense that they have different experiences based on their social behavior. All in all, Robert Merton was a very influential sociologist in that he transformed modern sociology today, and he is actually known as one of the founding fathers of modern sociology because he greatly contributed to sociology of science, structural functionalism, and the concepts such as manifest functions, latent functions, the theory of deviance, and the role theory. So, thank you.